Stu Cowan and Pat Hickey here at the Bell Centre, where the Canadiens beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-1 on Saturday. And actually, it was more like the Toronto Marlies, maybe, Pat. But 4 straight games for the Canadiens with points. They're 3-0-1, but they're still not gaining much ground in the playoff race.
Yeah, actually, if they'd sent the real Marlies here, they might have won, might have had a better chance because they're running away with the AHL. But you're right, they're just spinning their wheels because the three of the teams they're trying to catch, Philly, Pittsburgh, and Detroit, all won tonight. So they're 8 points behind Detroit, 5 points behind Pittsburgh, who have 2 games in hand, and they're 2 games behind Philadelphia, which has a game in hand. And there's also a couple of teams in there, Ottawa and Carolina, that are also in between them and 8th place. So they still have an awful lot of ground to make up, and whether they have enough time left to do it remains to be seen.
There were some bright spots. Of course, everybody wanted to see Philippe Danault, the new acquisition from the Chicago Blackhawks. He was sent out for the opening face-off. He said he hadn't slept much the night before, so the adrenaline was sort of running through. Yeah. He also said when he called his father in Victoriaville to tell him about the trade, his dad didn't believe him, so it sure was quite a thrill for him. Danault he had 14 minutes of ice time, Pat, but he was 15-4 in the face-off circle.
Yeah, he won 2 face-offs on the opening shift and just went on from there. Very strong in the face-off circle, good skater. I think this is a good addition to this team. Now, whether he's ever going to be a top 6 forward, highly unlikely, but he was on the 3rd line tonight and looked pretty good.
Former first-round pick of the Chicago Blackhawks. He said it was Marc Bergevin who called him after the trade and said, "I finally got you." Yeah. He's wanted to get him for a long time. He was a first-round pick in 2011, back when Bergevin was part of that team. Also, Michael McCarron, who was called up Friday night from the St. John's Ice Caps. In the locker room after the game, he's a full 6'6" and 230 pounds, Pat. He's a big man, and he had a big presence on the ice.
He is a big man. Here's a guy that could be a top 6 forward at some point. And we saw tonight what he can do. He assisted on the winning goal. He actually set the play in motion, separated the puck from a Toronto player along the end boards. It came out. He battled to get in front of the net. I mean, pushing guys out there, hit him on the shoulder or the chest. Fell down, Smith Pelly put it in. But, just hard work there. 5 shots on goal, matched Max Pacioretty for the team high. 4 hits, also a team high. This guy's going to be a player.
And that was only just over 10 minutes of ice time, too, for those numbers. The thing I liked about him is he had a physical presence. He stood up to Toronto defensemen. He was crashed in front of the net. It's a big body that this team has really needed to have. And he said afterwards in the locker room, he said, if you don't have any pushback, you're not a hockey player. Yeah. And it's something the Canadiens have really, really needed. Also, another strong night from Mike Condon, Pat.
He's got 7 points out of a possible 8 the last 3 games. He had 31 saves tonight out of 32 shots. He made 2 really big saves when they were holding on to a 2-1 lead. He stopped a breakaway on a shorthanded attempt, and then he made a great leg save on Leipzig, to keep the score close. And then Max Pacioretty got a couple of insurance goals. So Pacioretty was, I would say, close to invisible the first 2 periods. But then he came up big. He did get an assist on the first goal by Gallagher. Yeah. No, I'm sorry, he didn't get an assist. No. There wasn't a goal. He should have had a goal.
The other one was a high stick. Yeah. But it's funny, we were just talking about Pacioretty being invisible, and then boom, he scores, and then he booms and he scores again. That's what goal scorers do. You got to beat the good teams and the bad teams if you want to get into the playoffs. The Canadiens beat a bad team tonight. Things don't get easier though. They head on the West Coast now. They play San Jose Monday, then they're in Anaheim Wednesday, LA Thursday, and then Winnipeg on Saturday. That's a bit of a bizarre road trip.
It is. The interesting thing, the 3 teams on California are all in playoff positions right now. So these are tough teams. You're playing them on the road. Hopefully, maybe the California sunshine will give these guys a little bit of life, but it's not going to be an easy road trip.
No, and PK Subban was saying that afterwards in the room, that it won't be easy at all, but he also added it would be nice to get away from the icy sidewalks in Montreal, so I'll agree with him on that one.